So now we will begin Bhagavad Gita, the Song of God, Chapter 1. But first let me offer my homage and my salutations to my Guru, to Krishna, to our guardians. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Gaurava Narasingha Maharaja Iti Namane Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. There's one thing I want to mention before we go any further, and that is that my Sanskrit is very, very poor. My accent is very, very bad. Being born and raised in the southern part of the United States of America, my tongue was not really molded for Sanskrit. And my guru told me one time that my Sanskrit was pretty bad. But luckily in this age, it's not necessary to perfectly pronounce mantras. In past ages, if one wanted a particular boon, and they chanted mantras for that, if they chanted wrong, then the opposite effect could come. However, in this age of Kali Yuga, the pronunciation is not so important. It's really what's in the heart that is important. So I want to ask those that may be expert at Sanskrit or better at Sanskrit to please forgive my poor Sanskrit and just bear with me. Chapter 1, Sainya Darshana, observing the armies on the battlefield. Verse 1. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmasetra kurusetre samavetra yayusavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kim akurvata Sanjaya. Addressing Sanjaya, Emperor Dhritarashtra said, after assembling with great enthusiasm for battle at the holy place of Kurukshetra, Dharmasetra, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? Verse 2. Sanjaya uvacha dristvatu pandavani kambudam duridanastada acharyam upasangamya rajavachanam abravit. Sanjaya replied, O Emperor, at that time your son Duryodhana, after observing the military arrangements of the Pandavas, approached his mentor Drona and spoke as follows. Verse 3. Pasyaitam pandaputranam acharya mahatim chamun byudam drupada putrena tabashishena dimata. Behold, O great teacher, the military formation of the great army of the sons of Pandu, arranged by your gifted student Dhristadyumna, the son of Drupada. Verse 4. Atra sura mahesvasya bimarjuna samayudi yuyudano viradascha drupataska maharataha. Within those ranks are great archers who are equal to Bhima and Arjuna in war, such as Satyaki, Virata, and the powerful charioteer Drupada. Verse 5. Dristaketus chiketana kashirajastabiravan purajit kunti bojascha saivascha narapungavaha. Great heroes such as Dristaketu, Chekitana, the heroic king of Kashi, Purajit, Kuntiboja, and Saibya are also present. Verse 6. Yudamayuscha vikranta utamojascha viryavan sobhadro drupadeyascha sarva eva maharataha. The chivalrous Udamanyu, the courageous Uttamoja, Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Drupadi are indeed all mighty chariot warriors. Verse 7. Asmakam tu vashistaye tanibodadvijotama nayaka mama sanyasya samyartam tan bravimite. However, O best of Brahmins, You should also know who amongst my army is qualified to lead our military force. Just for your information, I shall name them. Verse 8. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitinjayaha Asvatama Vikanascha Samudatis. Your good self as well as Bhishma and Karna are always victorious in battle, as well as Asvatama, Vikarna, Bhurishrava, and Jayadratha. Verse 9. Anye cha bahava sura madarte jaktva jivitaha nana shastra prabharanaha sarvayuda visharada. They are all armed with weapons, various weapons, and they are expert in the art of war. All of them are prepared to give up their very lives for my sake, as are many other warriors. Verse 10. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma viraksitam paryaptam tweedam etasham balam bhima virakshatam. Our army, protected by the might of Bhishma, is unlimited. However, the strength of the opposition, protected by Bhima, is insufficient. Verse 11. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatabagam avistitaha Bhishmam eva birakshantu bhavanta sarva evahi. You must support and protect Bhishma at all costs, at the strategic points of our battle formation. Anuvriti commentary by Srila Jagad Narasingha Maharaj. War is nothing new to this world. Thousands of years ago, wars were being fought, such as the one at Kurukshetra, to resolve the difference between good and evil and for the purpose of material gain. From ancient times to our modern era, practically not a day on this earth has passed when someone somewhere was not fighting over something. Throughout history, men have gathered on the field of battle to fulfill their greed for wealth and glory, sometimes nobly, but more often ignobly. The same is happening in the 21st century. War, it seems, is an unavoidable karmic destiny of human civilization. Peace, on the other hand, is rather elusive. Peace is talked about and even prayed for, but seldom makes more than a momentary appearance. Most of our lives, even for the humblest of souls, are spent struggling for existence, either socially, politically, financially, mentally, or physically. For most of us, the temporary absence of any major crisis is what we call peace. However, peace, or shanti as it is known amongst yogis, is a state of consciousness and not a condition relative to the external affairs of the material world. Peace is an internal experience. The wisdom of the Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, says, Jivo jivasya jivanam. One living being is food for another living being. From the minutest form of life to the most complex, one life is sustained by the loss of another. Thus, the basic principle for material existence is fundamentally flawed with violence. Peace, then, for most of us, comes in doing what we have to do and believing that we have done the right thing. Therein lies the fine line between war and peace. Is what we think to be good or what we are conditioned to believe actually right? The ability to discriminate between right and wrong, or in some cases good and evil, largely depends on the extent of knowledge from which we draw our conclusions. A poor fund of knowledge naturally results in faulty conclusions. Therefore, it is in our best interest to seek out the greatest source of knowledge, knowledge of the absolute truth, and familiarize ourselves with that. Bhagavad Gita is perhaps the most widely read book of theistic knowledge in the world. Whatever knowledge one finds in similar books such as the Dhammapada, the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, etc., is also found in Bhagavad Gita. But in the Bhagavad Gita, one will find what is not present anywhere else. Consequently, the Bhagavad Gita surpasses all branches of knowledge. What lies ahead in these commentaries is a look into the vastness of the knowledge of the absolute truth contained in the Bhagavad Gita. I will add a note here, because at this time in the United States of America, there's a battle going on. There are two sides that are directly opposed with each other. And no time since the Civil War in America has there been such divisiveness. But I can tell you the same thing that Srila Prabhupada said, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada said back in the early 1970s, that the only thing that can save America, the USA, and the whole world is Krishna consciousness. The knowledge contained within this Bhagavad Gita will educate the people in such a way that peace and harmony will come. All of the problems that we're facing today in the United States of America can be solved with the knowledge coming from Bhagavad Gita. Everything from climate change to racism. If one takes to heart Bhagavad Gita, then real peace can come to America. And if not, regardless of which side gains control, they will not be able to solve the problems that the world faces. They will not be able to solve the problems that face America nor the whole world. The only thing that can help America now and the whole world is God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, and that is what is contained in this Bhagavad Gita. So please take it to heart. Verse 12. Tasya sanjanayam harsham kuru rida pitamaha simhanaram vinodochai sankam dadmal pratapavan. Then Bhishma blew his conch loudly to increase the euphoria of Duryodhana. Text 13. Tata shankascha biryascha panavanaka gomukaha sahasaiva vyahanyanta sasabastamulo bhavate. At that point, conchas, trumpets, bugles, drums, and horns suddenly sounded all at once, and the combined sound rose up like thunder. Verse 14. Tata svater hayer yukte mahati sinadane stitao madhava pundavaschaiva divyasankau pradadmatu. On the other side of the battlefield, both Sri Krishna, the husband of the goddess of wealth, and Arjuna, sitting on a wonderful chariot yoked with horses of fair hue, blew their divine conchs. Verse 15. Panchachanyam hrishikesho devadatam dhananjaya pandram datmal mahashankam bhima karma vrikodaraha. Sri Krishna, the master of the senses, blew his conch shell called Panchanjanya. Arjuna, the winner of great wealth, blew his conch shell called Devadatta. Bhima, the performer of great feats, blew his conch shell Pondra. Verse 16-18. Ananta vijayam raja kunti putro yudhishthiraha nakula sahadevascha sugosha manipuspakao kasyascha parameshvasaha sikandi cha maharataha dristayumno viradascha satyakis chaparajitaha drupado draupadeyascha sarvasha prithvipate sobhadrascha mahabahuhu shankam dadmuhu pratake. Yudhisthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell Ananta Vijaya. Nakula and Sahadev blew their conches called Sugosha and Manipuspaka. O Emperor, the great archer, the king of Kashi, the expert chariot warrior, Sikandi, Dristatyumna, Virata, the invincible Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Drupadi, and Abhimanyu, the mighty son of Subhadra, all blew their conches.